Hello everybody, John PI here, and today on this video I wanted to talk about PolonieXLendingBot.com. What PolonieXLendingBot.com is it is basically a bot that allows you to lend out your bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies on Poloniex to earn interest. Poloniex Lending Bot will basically manage all of your loans on autopilot. You can connect Poloniex Lending Bot to your Poloniex account and then basically set it up so that it will automatically lend out your Bitcoin and your other cryptocurrencies to other traders on Poloniex. And then in return you will earn a percentage interest rate. Okay, so the way this works is you need to come over to Poloniex Lending Bot and you need to create an account, and then you need to connect the Poloniex Lending Bot to your Poloniex API. Now I know this sounds technical and some people get scared, but it's actually quite easy, and I'm going to show you how to set this up. It takes just a few minutes and you'll be ready to start making some loans on Poloniex to other traders. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get into this. And first, I also like to make a disclaimer. I haven't actually used this yet, but I have some friends who are using it and they're being pretty successful with it. They're not getting rich with this. It's not something that's going to make you a whole ton of money, unless you have lots and lots and lots of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. Unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars of cryptocurrencies, you're not really going to make a whole lot of money off of this. But you're going to get, some good interest rates, much better than you would get placing your fiat currency in the bank, for example. You're going to get some pretty good rates, and it'll add up to some gas money or something over time. So it's not much. All right. Like I said, I haven't actually used this. I usually like to really, test everything out and stuff like that first. However, I had one of my YouTube viewers ask me about Poloniex lending and margin trading, and I thought it was a good opportunity to just go ahead and create this video to try to show viewers, what is possible with lending on Poloniex. So I will, after making this video, I am going to start using this because why not? It's like it's on autopilot and it doesn't require much of my time. If my funds are not being used or I'm not using the funds for trading, then I might as well lend them out. Let other people make money off of my funds. And then I also earn a little bit of interest as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already created an account on PolonieXLendingBot.com, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Creating the account is just like any other website where you would create an account. Okay, so I'm going to sign in, and now it says select all squares with street signs. So let's do that. Alright, and let's sign in. It's a little slow. Okay. Alright, so now we're logged in, and I don't actually have any active loans out at the moment because my bot's not actually even set up. There's no bot. Notice it says API key missing. So what we need to do is we need to basically set up Poloniex Lending Bot API to link to our Poloniex account. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to click on New Bot, and we're going to give it a name. Let's say My Bot. We'll call it My Lending Bot. Make it more. Okay, Poloniex, and now we need to go over to our Poloniex account and come up here to two-factor API keys here. So you click on this little wrench and then go to API keys, Okay, and now you want to enable API, and it's going to ask you for a confirmation code. I have my phone here, and what these confirmation codes are is you need the Google Authenticator app. Download the Google Authenticator app, and what these codes are is basically it gives you a code every minute or so, and these codes expire. They expire every minute, and by using these codes it really locks down your account to make sure that nobody else can gain access to your account. So I'm using my phone here, and you know these codes expire. As you can see, they just updated with some new codes now. So I'm going to take the top one from Poloniex, and I'm going to put in that code. Now these codes expire, so they're only good for about a minute. Okay, so now it says, please check your email to confirm this action as a security measure. The confirmation link will expire in 15 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video for just a moment, and I'm going to go check my email so that I can confirm this link. I just like to keep my emails private, so I'm going to pause the video for a brief second, and then I'll go and click that confirmation link in my email, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone ahead and clicked the confirmation link in my email, and now I'm just going to refresh the page here, and strange. Let's try this again. Alright. Well, let's try this again. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've confirmed the email in my or the link in my email. The reason it didn't work the first time was because I have Firefox set up as my default browser, and I am currently using Google Chrome. So when I clicked the link in my email, it opened up Firefox, and for some reason it didn't register on Poloniex that I had confirmed the link. So what I did is I opened up the email again, and I copied the link and opened the link in Google Chrome, and then now my API access is enabled. Okay, so now that it is enabled, what I need to do is create a new key. So I'm going to click create a new key, and we have to insert this code again. It's kind of a pain to do these codes all the time, but it's really it works to your benefit to ensure that your account is locked down tight, to make sure that there's no unauthorized access to your Poloniex account, to ensure that your funds are safe. Alright, so I'm going ahead and submit, and again we have to go and check another email. So let me go and do that. Okay, so I have my link, and I'm just going to paste that in there. So now I've got my API key created. Alright, so what we have here is an API key, and we have a secret code. We have a long secret code here, and then we have another long code for the API key. Now I'm going to blur these out in the video because I need to keep these private, otherwise I'll be basically giving API access to the public, and then they could possibly, you know, do something with my account. So when you're viewing this video on YouTube, you're not going to see my API key, and you're not going to see my secret key. Okay, I'm just going to blur those out so I don't make them public. I need to keep my account safe. So anyways, here's what you need to do. First, you need to take the API key, which is a long string of letters and numbers. Alright, you're going to copy that. Then you're going to go back over to your Poloniex lending bot, and you're going to paste in your API key right there, just like that. Very simple. Okay, and then You're also going to take your secret, you're going to copy this, and you're going to paste that into the API secret over here on Poloniex or Poloniex Lending Bot. Alright, and then you're going to click Save. It says name can only contain letters and numbers, no spaces, dashes, underscores, or special characters are allowed. Alright, so let's take out the spaces and let's try this again. Save. Okay, so now our bot is set up over here, but it's not activated yet. We also need to take this IP address right here, copy that IP address, and go back over to Poloniex. And what we need to do is we need to basically disable enable trading and make sure enable withdrawals is also disabled. Make sure these two are unchecked. Make sure they're disabled. What this will ensure is it will ensure that the Poloniex lending bot does not have any access to make trades or withdraw any of your funds. It just makes your account more secure, and it makes sure that your funds are safe and that Poloniex lending bot isn't able to access any of that. So we disable enable lending or enable trading and enable withdrawals. We disable that. Then we're also going to add IP access restriction. So we're going to restrict access to trusted IPs only. And we have another confirmation that we need to add in here. So I'm going to grab another code from my Google Authenticator app, and I'm going to put in the code that I'm viewing on my phone now. Again, this code will expires. Alright, and let's submit. Alright, and let's edit. And then now we're going to paste in that IP address that we grabbed from right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and paste that in and click Save. And then now we have another confirmation code here again, and we are going to do 879040. Again, these are kind of annoying, but you have to do it just to ensure that your account is locked down really tight. There's a lot of hackers out there that are very relentless in trying to get your bitcoins and your money. Alright, so we've gone ahead and we've done that now. So we are pretty much set up now. I mean, that's pretty much it. All you need to do now is basically click activate. Oh, I also forgot. We need to transfer funds into our lending account. Now, the way we do this is we come over here to transfer balances, and we click on exchange. And let's say I wanted to lend out let's say 0.1 Bitcoin from the exchange into my lending account. We would then click transfer. Okay, so now I've transferred 0.1 Bitcoin into my lending account. Now, you could have transferred however many Bitcoins you wanted, but I just for the purpose of this video, I just did 0.1. So I've gone ahead and I transferred 0.1 Bitcoin into my lending account. Okay, and now it says you have 0.1 Bitcoin in your lending account. So now what you want to do after you have your Bitcoin in your lending account, you come over here and you want to activate your bot. Now I've already activated it, and I paused the video because it can take quite a few minutes before it actually gets active. So right now it's active, and what it has done is it has opened up a loan offer over here on Poloniex. So right now what it is showing me is it's showing me that I am offering to loan out 0.1 Bitcoin at 0.014% for a duration of 2 days, and auto renew is off. Auto renew means whether it's going to auto renew the loan when the loan expires. And this is now a loan that other Poloniex users can come in and borrow my Bitcoin for their trades. Okay, when it becomes active, when the loan is actually taken, it will show up over here in my active loans. So now Poloniex Lending Bot, there is a small fee. They have a bot fee which is 10% of whatever you earn. So whatever money that you earn, whatever Bitcoin that you earn by lending out your funds on Poloniex, the Poloniex Lending Bot will only charge a 10% fee. You can add credits by clicking on Add Credits, and you would then make a Bitcoin deposit. You would place you want to create a address, and then you can then deposit a small amount. I would suggest maybe like $10 worth of Bitcoin. Deposit it into your PoloniexLendingBot.com account. This credits, these bot credits are non-refundable. It says please note the bot lends funds from your Poloniex account, not this address. This address is for bot credits to keep your bot active. Deposits to this address are non-refundable and will appear after one confirmation. Okay, so what that's saying is do not transfer funds to this account that you planned on lending out. The only funds that you should be transferring to Poloniex Lending Bot is just a small amount to cover the 10% of whatever you earn. Okay, so you know you're only going to be earning a small amount of interest anyway, but it's going to be better than having your fiat currency in the bank, for example, or something like that. I mean, you're going to get a pretty good, decent return, but I mean, this is not going to make you rich by any stretch of the imagination. So go ahead and make a very small deposit, maybe $10-15 into your Poloniex Lending Bot, and then that will cover the bot fees for basically automating all of your lending. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and you also have some of these other settings. You can adjust some of these as well. You can adjust the minimum rate and the amount of durations for each of your currencies. Right now I leave it on the default right here because the bot does everything automatically. Really, what it does is it will try to get you the best rate on Poloniex at any given time. Okay, so if there's a situation where other people may be borrowing at a certain rate, and you want to be competitive, the bot's going to do that for you. It's going to try to offer up competitive rates while also trying to ensure that you're getting the maximum amount of interest that you can possibly get. Okay, so it is supply and demand sort of deal, where if there's a whole flood of loans out there on Poloniex, then the interest rates may go down. But if there's a large demand for loans, then the interest rates may go up higher. Anyways, when you're ready to, if you ever want to deactivate your bot, you would just come in here and click on deactivate, and I mean that's pretty much it. You can kind of just set it and forget it from here. So right now it shows that I have 0 Bitcoin in my lending account because it's already set over here as an open loan offer. Now if I want to cancel, I can click on cancel, but I'm just going to leave it be, and we'll see if that loan gets picked up. We'll see if somebody takes it. But for right now, it's already in the system, and anybody who wants to borrow my Bitcoin for their trading, they can go ahead and do that. So when you're finished with lending out all of your Bitcoins or other cryptocurrencies, and you wish to start trading with them again, you cancel all of your loan offers, and you would come over here and you would deactivate your lending bot. And you may also want to, if you want to permanently stop lending out your funds, then you would also want to deactivate the API. You come over to here at API, and you want to deactivate the API if you're no longer going to use the lending bot anymore. But after you finish with lending out all of your loans, and you don't want to loan out anymore, you want to trade, you want to just trade your funds, or you want to withdraw all of your funds or something like that, you come over here to balances, go to transfer balance, and here's where you would just transfer whatever balances you have. So right now, my loan is currently being lended out. It's on offer right now, so it doesn't show that I have 0.1 Bitcoin there. But if I went back and I canceled that lending, let's just show you. So if I came over here and I click cancel, it would then show here, and I'd be able to then enter in 0.1, and BTC we want to change from my lending account over to my exchange account, and then click transfer. What that would do is it would transfer whatever Bitcoin you have in your lending account back over to your exchange account. So on Poloniex, you have 3 different accounts, really. You have exchange account, margin trading account, and your lending account. So you would then transfer funds in between those 3 accounts using the transfer balances page. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think that's about it. But yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to share. Down here it would show you all your different stats for your different loans, and the statistics on each of those loans, and what the fee was, how much you earned, how much the duration was, the loan rate. So it gives you all those statistics right down here. Another important thing to keep in mind is that let's say, for example, you had 10 Bitcoins or so that you were lending out. It may not lend out all 10 Bitcoins to a single Poloniex lender or borrower, okay? It may split those 10 Bitcoins among several hundred people, all right? So always keep that in mind. And when you're ready to call all of your funds back in, let's say you wanted to withdraw all of your Bitcoins off of Poloniex, and you wanted to take your Bitcoin and go somewhere else, or do whatever, do something different. It generally will take 2-3 days or so for all of those positions to close out. So if say, for example, you had loans, you see here the duration was 2 days. If you had already loaned out a loan to somebody, you would have to wait until that loan was finished for those 2 days, and then slowly over 2 days that money would start coming back into your Poloniex lending account, and then you would then be able to transfer it back over to your exchange and then withdraw. All right, so that's the way that works. Let's talk a little bit about margin trading. Margin trading is the process of basically borrowing money to make trades, borrowing other people's money to make trades. Now this sounds like a really great idea, and it can work, and it does it does work, and you know, you can use that as leverage. However, it can also be quite dangerous too if you're not very careful. Let me explain. So, say for example, you wanted to go and buy Monero. All right, let's take a look here. We've got Monero. You know, it's been going down. Let's just, you know, give a quick scenario here. Let's just say, okay, well, I see Monero's going down. It's getting cheap. I think it's going to go up soon. And I just want to go ahead and make a trade and buy some Monero. And we want to do a margin buy. But I want to borrow some other people's money to make this trade. So what happens is you need to transfer some balance, transfer some of your Bitcoin into your margin account as collateral, because, you know, this borrowing other people's money is not free. There's always a cost attached to borrowing other people's money, other people's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is money right now. So anyways, you would need to transfer some balance into your margin account, and that will be used as collateral. Then you will be able to then borrow other people's funds and use that as leverage. All right, so you need a certain percentage of collateral in your margin account to be able to borrow other people's Bitcoins or other people's currencies, cryptocurrencies. It may not necessarily be Bitcoin. It could be, you know, Monero. It could be Factom. There's many different lending options that they have. But so let's just give a scenario here. Here I see Monero's going down. Let's just say I really felt that, you know, Monero was going to go up in value, and I wanted to borrow somebody else's funds to make this trade. You would then come down here, and after you've deposited a certain amount in your margin trading account, you would then be able to borrow other people's funds by making a margin buy. Now what happens is, if the price goes up in value, well then great, you've made some money and you pay a small interest fee for those loans that you borrowed. Okay, and then you've made money using other people's money. So you borrowed somebody else's Bitcoin. You made a trade. The value on the trade went up in value. So now when you sell, you're paying back a small amount of interest, and you keep the rest as profits. All right. So you're leveraging other people's money to make money by trading on Poloniex. Now this is very risky because, you know, the market can go either way, and I don't care who you are, unless you have some sort of crystal ball or you're able to see into the future. There's really no way to know which way the market is going to go, up or down. I mean, you can have a very good idea, but sometimes things just don't go the way we think they're going to go. So this can be risky. So say for example, you know, I had borrowed some funds to buy some Monero, anticipating that the value of Monero was going to go up. But instead, the value of Monero dropped. So what would happen then is, you had bought in at a high price, the price dropped, and you borrowed other people's money to buy that Monero, but the price didn't go up in value like you had hoped. So now you're stuck with a Monero that you bought at a high price that went low and didn't gain value, so you lost money. Plus, you still lost on the interest that you have to pay back to the other person for borrowing their Bitcoin to make that trade. So you lose twice. You lose because the market went down, and you lose again because you had to pay the interest for borrowing those funds. So that's why margin trading can be quite risky. Now there's the other way that you can also use margin trading, which is called shorting. For anybody who's done any type of forex or stock trading, you can also short a position. What shorting means is you're basically placing your bets on the idea that the stock or the cryptocurrency that you are betting on is going to go down in value. Okay, so if, say, for example, you saw a cryptocurrency that was spiking and you really felt that it was going to come down in value and you wanted to basically short the position, there's a way to actually make a profit off of a downward trend, trading these cryptocurrencies. And not just cryptocurrencies, forex trading, stocks as well. I mean, this is all pretty common stuff in any type of trading, being able to short a position. Okay, so what shorting is basically you're going to borrow that stock, all right? Or in the case of cryptocurrency, you're going to borrow that coin, all right? Somebody else has bought that coin, and you're going to borrow it. You're borrowing it not directly from the person who purchased the coin, but you're borrowing it from the broker. The broker here in this case being Poloniex. So, Poloniex is controlling everybody's shares for these cryptocurrencies. So, I mean, when you think of it, when you're buying a Bitcoin, what are you really buying? You're buying a share. That's the way I kind of look at it. I mean, there's 21 million Bitcoins. You're buying a piece of all those Bitcoins. So you're buying a share. When you buy one Bitcoin, you're buying one share. That's the way I kind of view it. So when you're shorting a position, you are basically you're borrowing somebody else's share. They already paid for it. They already paid whatever the market value of that particular share at that time. They have already paid for that share. You're going to borrow that share from them, from the broker, being Poloniex. Poloniex then issues that share, but really the other person still owns it. You're just borrowing it. Okay, so the other person has already bought it, but you're going to borrow it. And then you're going to place a bet that this value of this share is going to go down in value. So what happens is if it goes down in value, now this person is already, let's say for example Monero. Let's say I was borrowing a share from someone on Poloniex who paid $15 per Monero coin, and I wanted to place my bets and make a shorting position that Monero coin was only going to be worth $10 in the next day. It was going to drop in value by $5 to $10. So from 15 to 5. Now the other person has just already paid $15 for that coin. So I'm going to borrow that coin, and then I'm going to enter in my short position, placing my bets that the value of Monero is going to drop by $5. So when the value drops, when that happens, you will then return the share back to the person who you borrowed it from, and you would keep the rest as profit. So for example, they paid $15, all right, but then the value of the coin dropped, all right. So now you're holding a coin that is worth $10. All right, you return it back to the person who loaned it to you for $15, and you made a $5 profit. Okay, so that's the way shorting works. Now, the downside of shorting can be also very dangerous, and I'll explain that right now. Say, for example, you shorted a position on Monero. You borrowed that $15 Monero coin from somebody, and you were hoping that it was going to go down in value, but it didn't. It went up in value. In fact, it went way, 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 way up. It went to $50. Okay? The sky's the limit. I mean, these cryptocurrencies, there's no limit to how high they can go, but there is a limit to how low they can go. Okay, so let's just say it went up to $50, but you made a short position that it was going to go down in value. You borrowed it at 15, but it went up to 50. So now what happens is you have to pay the difference. You have to pay for the price difference between $15 and $50, and you're also going to pay the interest on the loan. So I mean, you can get really in a tough situation here, where if you're using margin trading and shorting positions in the wrong way, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. So make sure that you're starting off with very small amounts. If you're going to, you can use margin trading and shorting positions, and it is a very good way to make some profits, but you need to do it very carefully. Start off with some small amounts. That way, if you lose it and you totally screw up, it's no big deal. You don't lose no sleep. Okay? But certainly don't be trying to do this with your kids' college fund. All right? You're going to regret it, and that's all I have to say about that. Anyways, so that's pretty much about it, on shorting and margin trading, borrowing other people's money to make trades and make a profit, using some leverage. Usually, if you're going to short a position, you want to look for a place where it just shot up very, very quickly. And whenever that happens, usually, like, say for example, let's see if I can find one here. Let's see, factom. A lot of times when they shoot up, they do come back down, but not always. I mean, here you can see, here it shot up a little bit right there, but it came down just a slight little bit, but not much. Now you could have shorted this position here, where it dropped down tremendously right there. Also here, you could have shorted these two positions. But, how do you know when that's going to happen? I mean, you can't see into the future. I mean, if you were here at this point, at the top here, you wouldn't have known that, okay, well, in just a few minutes this thing's going to tank, unless you had some sort of advanced knowledge or insider information or something like that. You wouldn't be able to know. But you could make money on a downward trend trading these currencies. Let's see if I can find an example here. Okay, I'm not really seeing any examples here that I can show you. I mean, this one is kind of okay. Oops. Here's a good one. So if you would have shorted up here at the very top, you could have made a profit on the way back down. So it shot up to the moon, and then it came right back down. This happens quite a bit, but it doesn't happen always. So, I mean, you're still taking a risk. Here it shot up, and it only came down just a little tiny bit. So you don't really know how much is it going to come back down. you can open up your short position at the top, and you can make your bet that it's going to go down in value, which in most cases, if it shoots up like that, it will come back down a little bit, but you don't know by how much. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind. You can play around with this, start off very small with very small amounts of Bitcoin. Do very, very small amounts of short trading or margin trading. And that way, if you mess up and you make a mistake, you're not going to cry long tears. Okay, so while I was recording this video, I see that my Poloniex lending bot has already lent out that 0.1 Bitcoin already. So what I see here is we see recently opened 0.1, and it's loaned out at 0.0139%. And if I go over here to Poloniex, I can see my active loans. I can see that it has already been loaned out, and I've switched on auto renew so that after 2 days it will auto renew if the person still wants the loan. And so currently that 0.1 Bitcoin is being loaned out right now, and it's going to get some interest. It's going to accrue interest over those 2 days. I'm just going to let this go, and we'll see how this works. We'll see how much money I make, and I don't know. I'm probably going to use this a little bit more. I still like to keep my funds free for me to do trading, because I think that trading is a far, far more profitable way of making extra income than just loaning out the loans. I mean, when you're loaning them out, they're tied up, and now you're only getting, this small rate here, when you could go and make a few trades and possibly get 20, 30, 40, 50% returns by trading some altcoins. You could practically, almost double your money in some cases if you're lucky enough to make the right trades at the right times. So keep that in mind. I mean, you want to loan out the funds that you're not really using. It's just kind of sitting there idle on the sidelines, and you're not really trading. But if you're not trading at all, then by all means, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be loaning out your cryptocurrencies at least a little bit. Any cryptocurrencies that you've got just lying around not doing anything, might as well put them to work. I mean, it's not going to cost you anything to do it. Before doing any margin trading or opening up any long or short positions, I would suggest that you come over here to the margin trading tab and click on here, margin trading on Poloniex, and read all of this here so that you can get more familiar with the Poloniex margin trading system and how it works and what it all means. Make sure you read this very good. Make sure you understand it. I think that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys like it. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay. Also, share with all of your friends on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or not YouTube, Google Plus, all the different social media networks. And also join my email list. Make sure you get on my email list so that I can be able to send you any updates, automatically, and you can have direct communication with me via email. So my opt-in email list, for you to opt in, it's going to be at bitcoin.cashwithjohnpi.com. That's bitcoin.cashwithjohnpi.com. And I'll just go ahead and I'll show you the link for that. Bitcoin. Okay, so here, bitcoincashwithjohnpi.com, and you can come over here and click on Get Instant Access, enter in your email, and then you will be able to opt into my email list, and you'll be able to get all of my updates fresh as I release them. Alright, so that's all for this video. I hope you liked it, and leave me some comments. Make sure you like and subscribe to videos. Thanks.